name alone sounds scary, right? Have you even thought about how it can combine all of its acquisitions and what the impact of that actually is? We have. And here now to walk us through how terrifying it is tech analyst Rob Enderle and security expert John Sileo. Rob, you think that this may be the final bit of technology that they needed to put together the nest in your home that's regulating your air and the temperature, the computer, the satellites, the robots? This is it?
The television, the other stuff they're capturing. Yeah, exactly right. That's what this intelligence is designed to do. It connects all these disparate pieces of information and builds them into a model that they can use to model you either in group or individually. They'll know more about you than you know about you, and that's kind of scary.
Oh, John, that's terrifying. What do you think? Are you scared?
You know, yeah, I mean, just the pure centralization, like you've said, of all of this data from, you know, they're looking in our Gmails, they know what's in our Google Docs, they know what's on our Android phones, they know where we're moving because there's GPS on our phones, they've got credit information, now they're going inside of the home, and he's right. It's, you know, this is the technology that brings it all together and lets them, essentially it adds a brain to what has just been raw data, and yeah, that's a pretty scary prospect.
Rob, you know, everyone is talking about the NSA spying on you, but to me it seems like Google is a lot more serious, a lot more dangerous, probably more advanced. Is anyone regulating this?
For the most part, no. I think part of the problem is because it's the government's kind of doing this too. It's very hard for the government now to step in and say, now, Google, you're doing something really bad. And the fact of the matter is what Google's doing is far more advanced than what we know the NSA is doing. Now, to be aware, the NSA is working on artificial intelligence as well, but they're just not using this technology. The real scary part of this, though, is with this technology, you can bridge the things that Google doesn't know about you and fill those gaps. So when I say they know more about you than you know yourself, that's exactly what they'll have.
And John, I mean, I am more concerned about, rather than the government regulating Google, which is sort of a joke, them eventually realizing that they need them in order to spy on the people that they want to, and leaning on Google and forcing this information out of them, right?
Yeah, well, we've seen that over and over now, that Google and Facebook and everybody else, Verizon, have had to give up this information. You know, you got to realize, generally the collectors of the information are not bad. Their intentions are good. They're doing it for good reasons. It's the hacking of it. It's the misuse of it when, you're right, when the government wants to go and figure out more about us. And as of now, they have free reign into that data, and there's been no oversight into stopping that whatsoever.
Rob, is that the biggest danger, that the government says, you know, in the name of international terror, we want all of this from you to spy on this person? Or is there something more nefarious? I mean, do you imagine, I don't know, are there hackers? I mean, I don't know. What do you think is the biggest threat?
Well, once you have this engine developed, an engine that can go through this unstructured data and form conclusions, you have an engine that can be used by a hostile state against the United States. You've got an engine that can be used by our own state against us. It's a very powerful tool, and yet we have no regulations, no rules, no laws that talk about how that should be used. And that creates a fairly significant danger because you're creating this intelligent thing without any structure for how you should or could use it for. It's kind of like building the atomic bomb, but having no idea what's going to do and handing it to somebody that likes to push red buttons a lot.
Right. Although, John, I mean, isn't that the evolution of science and technology, is that we invent things that eventually get out of our control, and there is no way to rein it in once it's been done?
Yeah, but listen, we know it's going to be a problem, right? We knew that the atomic bomb was going to be a problem, so we thought about it. Why don't we do the same with this and have some oversight and think in terms of, you know, not just is Google a monopoly, but is Google's monopoly of our private information a problem? And can we regulate that in really smart, you know, capital-friendly ways?
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm terrified, but thank you.
A pleasure.
Always a pleasure. What's your name? Nikki, a little bit more information. How about when we go through it together, item by juicy item? No, I wouldn't do that. Nikki, it's almost impossible to go through everything you need to do to protect something this large in one session. So I would like to offer you a free copy of my book. First, let me give that back to you.
Tired of carrying it, aren't you?
The thing is heavy. Free copy of my book, Privacy Means Profit. Trust me, it will help. Chapter 5. If you would just hold the book up for a second. Yeah. Little further from your face. Yeah. Oh, it makes it easier to turn into a driver's license. Oh.